Today I'm going to review another coffee from Third Coast Coffee Roasting Company. This is Coyona Natural. This is one of my daily coffee beans. Of the beans that I've had from Third Coast Coffee Roasting Company, this is just my preference. I really like the natural bean. The natural beans are going through a process where they're leaving the fruit on the bean just a little bit longer. And this one is nice because it's representative of the beans of South America. I believe these are from Peru, but we'll go into that in a second. I want to do some notes just on the flavor of the beans themselves before I order another bag of this. It's a very deep, just coffee flavor. It's not that far from, say, Colombian, but there's a little more fruitiness to it. It's not as strong as the Ethiopian Sidama Natural. It's not as deep as like dried cherries or raisin. I always say raisinettes when I have the Ethiopian Sidama, that little flavor profile. These to me, there's a certain, I just want to call it coffee. There's a certain coffee flavor that is stronger on these, but the flavor profile to me is closer to what I've had from South American beans with a little bit of fruitiness. So it's not as robust as the Ethiopian coffees that I've had. This is more representative of the South American beans, and then it's got some fruitiness with it in addition. But it's not making me think of specific fruit. Like 50 to 75% of it is just good, solid South American coffee, and then there's a 25% amount of like fruitiness. It's not cinnamon. It's got a deep, rich earthiness, which I think is more the flavor that I'm picking up as being from the South American beans than the Ethiopian coffees. Let me see if I can pull this up on their website for a second. And Coyona Natural, this is it here. You can see they listed as like fudgy, cognac, raisin, cherries. I could maybe see the cognac. I don't get the raisin quite as much. Not quite as much. It also may come through more with the flavor of the coffee itself once I've made the brew. And it said that the cooperative is Coyona. Instead of the water-consuming washed method, Coyona's farmers use a natural process, leaving the coffee cherries flavor-laden fruit on the seed for days. The result, a sun-dried bean with a singular and unforgettable taste. By working with cooperative coffees and the Coyona Cooperative in northern Peru, so it's Peruvian, we craft an offering we're proud to share with you. I really like this coffee. It's one of the ones that I've bought the most of the beans from Third Coast Coffee Roaster, or Third Coast Coffee Roasting Company here in Austin. The natural beans generally I seem to prefer. I just think they've been super, super tasty. And here in a second, I'm going to go ahead and brew this so I can go ahead and give you more of a tasting. I'm not personally picking up raisin as one of, or the fudge. I could see maybe a little bit of the cognac. The beans themselves, again, they just remind me more of South American beans. The ones I've had the most are probably Colombian over my lifetime. But it's got a fruitiness to its smell, its aroma. So I'm going to go ahead and let this finish and then try the coffee itself and see if I pick up more notes of that. But really great coffee. I've had this one many, many times with no plans of stopping by far. Trying the different coffees has been really interesting. I enjoy the coffee differently when I'm just having coffee in the morning as opposed to doing the taste. I'm savoring the aroma, the flavor profile in, I think, different ways. And it feels very, very different to me. Let me give that just a second. In fact, let me smell the... I can almost see it, the fudge. It almost seems a little cake-like, not quite fudge to me. Almost like brownies, I think. And I can see a little bit of raisin, but that good South American bean flavor is coming through. I also think it's in comparison. If I had never had a natural processed coffee from like Ethiopia, the Ethiopian Sidama, the one I keep talking about that I like so much. If I had never had that, I wouldn't have as much to compare it to. I think I would have like a different sense of this coffee specifically. Just about there. Let me see if I can pour just a little bit of this without making a mess. Just enough to get a taste. Let it cool just a little. I don't want to burn myself during a tasting. The flavor I get when my nose is above is very similar to the brew itself. Tastes like South America, man. Tastes like adventure. Smells like adventure. Let's see. It's like all this coffee. I want to say bitterness, but it's not that it's more bitter than other coffee. It's just having it black. But there's those fruity layers, a little bit more like raisin. There's just this deep, rich, like 50% of it at least, is this deep, rich, just South American bean flavor that I pick up, that I've noticed more and more. When I get beans from other regions, including Central America, they have a slightly different flavor profile. The beans in South America seem to be the most similar across country. And yeah, this is mild enough. Like I mentioned, it's bitterness. And some people just don't like bitter. They don't have a taste for it. I could just drink this black. Most of the beans that I've had from Third Coast Coffee Roasting Company are the same way. And I think it's just because it's a higher quality bean that they're roasting freshly. I don't mind bitter, but I don't drink a lot of black coffee. I just tend to use cream in mine. I like the additional creaminess that it adds, a little bit of flavor profile. It's a fudgy South American, cakey, like brownie coffee. And my vision in my head, because knowing more about the natural process and how they leave the fruit on the bean, that's the fruity sort of flavor profile aroma. Like the imagery I see in my head is those beans aging, drying with the fruit on it. Super tasty. Let me see if I can pour me a full cup without making a huge mess. Then gonna add my cream here. And me personally, I stopped using half and half in my coffee. I really like heavy cream. You don't have to use as much of it if you don't want. The cream, of course, starts to take over, and the cream also floats to the top. It didn't stir. So you're getting those dairy flavors along with the bean itself. But just a really great coffee. When I order here in just a bit, I'm probably going to order another bag of the Coyona Natural, if that doesn't tell you anything else about it. Absolutely great. I'll continue the tastings and flavor notes likely on the bulk of their coffees as I go through and sample different ones. But this is a really great coffee. I really recommend checking it out if you get a chance. I think Coyona Natural is one of the top 5 I've had from Third Coast coffee roasters. I think it's a great coffee you should go ahead and check out. I'll see you guys again here on the tasting, which I call Salud. We'll see you here again soon. I'm probably going to try to review some tequila next, which I've not done yet. I'm anxious to get that process started. You guys have a great day. It was great going over the coffee with you, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my morning.